Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today's topic is measure of dispersion. Measure of dispersion. Dispersion means the variation. The variation, the spreadness, or the scatteredness. Among the data is called the dispersion. There are different methods for the calculation of variation, spreadness, and scatteredness among the data, which includes first one, the range, which is used most commonly used, and the simplest one is the range, which is used to find the dispersion. Second is the quartile deviation. Third one is the variance, and fourth one is the standard deviation. These are the methods which are called the absolute measure of dispersion. These methods are absolute measure of dispersion. For example, you are measuring the distance. Distance is measured in kilometers. So, unit of measurement of range, quartile deviation, variance, and standard deviation are also in terms of kilometers. So, this type of measure is called the absolute measure of dispersion, in which the result is also in terms of kilometers. In variance, we will take the square of kilometer, and in quartile deviation, range, and standard deviation, all are measured in kilometers. So always take the same unit of measurement, which is the unit of measurement of data. Such type of measure is called absolute measure of dispersion. जिस टर्म में आपका x का डेटा दिया जाएगा, जो यूनिट ऑफ मेजरमेंट आपका वेरिएबल का होगा, वही यूनिट ऑफ मेजरमेंट मेजर ऑफ डिस्पर्शन का होगा. तो उस तरह का मेजर ऑफ डिस्पर्शन जो है वो एब्सोल्यूट है, चाहे वो आपका रेंज है, क्वार्टाइल डेविएशन है, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन है, या वेरिएंस है. वेरिएंस बस आपके पास स्क्वायर फॉर्म में आएगा, किलोमीटर स्क्वायर, सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर, लीटर स्क्वायर, कोई भी यूनिट ऑफ मेजरमेंट जिसमें आपका डेटा है. टेम्परेचर है, सेंटीग्रेड है, सेंटीग्रेड स्क्वायर. तो वेरिएंस जो है वो स्क्वायर की फॉर्म में आपका मेजर किया जाता है. आप यूनिट ऑफ मेजरमेंट के ऊपर ऐसे स्क्वायर लिख दोगे, चाहे वो किलोमीटर है या किलोग्राम है. जबकि बाकी यूनिट ऑफ मेजरमेंट्स जो है वो सेम होंगे जो आपके वेरिएबल के होंगे. इस तरह का जो मेजर है उसे हम क्या कहते हैं, एब्सोल्यूट मेजर ऑफ डिस्पर्शन. तो डिस्पर्शन एक्चुअली आपके डेटा की स्कैटर्डनेस को मेजर कर रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपका डेटा बहुत ज़्यादा स्कैटर्ड हुआ है तो फिर आपने जो मेजर यूज़ करना है वो इनमें से कोई भी फाइंड कर सकते हैं. तो आपका डेफिनेटली उसका जो मेजरमेंट का यूनिट है वो जो रिजल्ट है वो काफ़ी हाई आएगा. ठीक है, अब हम इसको SPSS के थ्रू करते हैं. हमारे पास SPSS में 3 टाइप्स के डेटा सेट हैं. ठीक है, 3 टाइप्स के डेटा सेट हैं. जी, पहला डेटा सेट किस तरह का हो सकता है? एक तो आपका हो सकता है अनग्रुप डेटा. ठीक है, अनग्रुप्ड डेटा. अनग्रुप डेटा आपका कैसा है, जिसमें ओनली एक्स इज गिवन. अनग्रुप डेटा in which only x is given. Second one is if frequency distribution is given. In which x and f, 2 columns are given. X is the midpoint and f is the frequency. Third one, again frequency distribution is given, but now frequency distribution consists of 3 columns: lower class limits, upper class limits, and frequency is given. So we will consider three different questions for the solution of measure of dispersion in the SPSS file. So open SPSS file. This is our SPSS file in which single variable children is given. So X is given. If we will write here that this is a variable in the form of X, this is our X, then which steps are taken for the calculation of measure of dispersion? First step is step 1, open SPSS file. Next is define variable X, a variable X, enter data. Step number 2, analyze. Then descriptive statistics. Then frequencies. Then select variable X. Then checkbox. Then click on statistics. Now we will follow these steps. Click on analyze, descriptive statistics, then frequencies. Select this variable by double click on this variable. Click on statistics, and in the bottom you can see there is the word dispersion, standard deviation, variance, and range. You can find out all these three types of dispersion in the same box, and then continue, and then OK. From the output window, you can observe the result here. You can observe this table here. This is our step number 3. Step 3 is this table, in which first one is the result of standard deviation 2.206. This is the result of variance 4.867, and this is the result of range. Range is the crude measure of dispersion, which gives you the rough idea about the scatteredness of the data, but more reliable is the standard deviation and the variance. So we will consider both of these two measures for the calculation of dispersion. Now we will consider one more example here. This is the data set. First of all, we will compute X variable here using these two limits, upper class limits and lower class limits. And the average of these two limits is basically the midpoint X. So first of all, we compute X. Whenever the frequency column is given, we have to give the weight to the data set using the column frequency. So first step is compute X. Second step is weight cases. And in third step, we will compute the measure of dispersion. Okay. Now we will follow the steps. Step number 1, compute X. First of all, click on transform, then compute variable. We will take capital X as a target variable. In the label, we will write here the mid value. This is our mid value, and the type X numeric, and the continue. Okay, the expression is parenthesis start, double click on lower, plus double click on upper, parenthesis close, divided by 2, and then OK. This will give us the values of midpoints, the central value. It is given in the 2 decimal places, so make it up to 0 because we don't need to mention zeros here. So now it's in integer form. And second step is weight cases. So click on data, click on weight cases, select weight cases by, and then click on frequency. Double click on frequency. Always choose frequency variable F here, and then OK. This will give you the result here only mentioned by that we have weight cases by F, nothing else. And the previous step is mid values are calculated, and the code is this one. So these are the 2 steps. Now we will come to the next step, in which we will click on analyze, descriptive statistics, the same steps, frequencies, select which variable? X, because we computed X for this step. So double click on X, uncheck display frequency table. Okay. And then statistics. In the dispersion column, this is the dispersion box in which standard deviation, variance, and range are clicked. And then continue. And then OK. You can observe this is our output. Okay, this is our output, in which standard deviation is given here, this one, variance is this one, and range is this one. These are the 3 results. Variance is 10.408. If we will take the square root of this 10.408, we will have the standard deviation as 3.226. These are the steps to compute the dispersion in terms of standard deviation, variance, and range. So now we are able to calculate the measure of dispersion if we have given the group data in the form of lower, upper, and frequency table, and if only raw data is given in terms of X. Only X variables, X observation are given. Then we can also compute the measure of dispersion, and if frequency distribution is given, then we can also calculate the measure of dispersion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Allah Hafiz. बस इतना ही है. ओके, अल्लाह हाफिज.